Imagine working in environments where you left every day feeling better than when you arrived. Imagine getting to the end of the week more energized, more excited than when you started at the beginning of the week. I've learned a really hard lesson that a bad system will be a good person every day of the week. I also realized that for a flower to blossom and bloom in the way that nature intended, we don't need to fix the flower. We fix the environment in which it's trying to grow. Yeah? I can see that resonance. So the reason I know this to be true is because, like many of you, I hit a point of burnout at 26. I was working 100 hours a week. I had my dream job, but I didn't have my dream life. And I was so in service, but I just wanted to serve and serve and serve. There wasn't enough hours in the day. Someone would want me to come in at 6 o'clock for a session. I would be there. I'll get my coffee, I'll get my muffin on the way to work, and I'd call my barista, and I'd be like, hey, I'm coming. He's like, you don't even need to call anymore. Just send me a message during that. That's when I knew, like, I was in flow, I was in service. But imagine 100 hours a week, back to back to back, year after year. What do you think happened? Right? And how does it start? It starts as a little whisper, and then it's a slap to the face. And then what's the last bit? Map truck. So when I was 26, I woke up and I had 20 missed calls from my practice manager. My alarm clock was like, It had been going off for 2 hours straight. I don't know what my neighbors thought, but I slept through the entire thing. And I looked at my phone, I looked at my clock, and I was like, I'm late. I'm like, I'm done. I could not get out of bed. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, dead. On 0%. Like that iPhone battery that you charge in, and then you get 2 hours in the day, and it dies, and then you got to charge it again. That was me, using coffee, using stimulants, trying to have naps during the day. That's not normal. And I remember asking myself 3 really beautiful questions. You can always ask yourself in any moment. It's the biggest catalyst for change. Am I healthy? I said no. Am I happy? Honestly, no. Do I feel connected to myself, my family, my purpose, my dharma? I said no. So what do you do in that moment? You stop, you reassess, you recalibrate, you realign. So the invitation for you all is to create beautiful systems and beautiful environments where self-care becomes embedded into the DNA of your business, of your family, of your environment. Whatever you're building, whatever you're creating, this becomes a normal way of life. We all know health is the greatest wealth. Why do we have to keep losing it to know the value of it? I'm not talking health in terms of, can I run 10 kilometers? I'm talking about waking up before your alarm clock, getting to the end of the day and having enough energy to have that quality time with your partner, to be able to run around with your kids from your 6 to 5. Not worrying if you're going to have a heart attack. That's what health is to me. It's the energy, the essence, it's growing young and keeping the inner child alive for as long as we can. You relate? Yeah. So the invitation is to help me create and co-create more happy, more healthy, more connected people. Because if we do, we have the ROI. Return on impact. Yeah? If we invest in people, they're more profitable, they're more creative, they're more cohesive. So who am I? My name is Rory Callaghan, and I am the author of the self-care book. But before that, I was a sports physio. I grew up with a single parent family. My mum, beautiful, beautiful soul, absent father. If you ever want to go back through my history to understand why I work 100 hours a week, I'm going to start there. Yeah, I've done the work. I understand why I did it. I felt like I was the hope of the side, the first to go to university, the first of everything. I didn't have people around me that had built businesses. I had to figure it out. I didn't have people around me that had written books. I had to figure it out. So what might come easy to others, I had to figure it out. And what does that do? You build this mentality that you're going to do it all yourself. until you realize that there are so many people willing to support you and care for you and help you. Connection is the ultimate medicine. Collaboration, co-creation is the future. That's the invitation. Yeah? So the turning point for me is bad system, it's a good person. I was out. You win. Healthcare system, you win. So what do? I step out of it. And then what do? I become a patient in it, trying to buy my health back. I spent $100,000 for 2 years, earning $80,000 a year. What do you think that my mental, my emotional, my financial health? I was in survival, trying to feel better, more tests, more results, more. And what do you think my health did? So I was like, this isn't working. So what's that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Imagine what my ego did. I'm like, I've invested $100,000 in study and education. I've now invested $100,000 myself as a patient. I'm a medical professional, I lost my health, and now I'm a patient who can't get better. Well, the sun's not working, right? It was like a wake-up moment. And I guess like the crazy thing is I've worked with 10,000 patients. I've built businesses with 50,000 customers. I've worked with over 1,000 entrepreneurs, from startups and solopreneurs all the way through to like large organizations. And there's one thing that I see that is extremely common, is we create a culture where we work and feel fresh. And I'm here to change that. I realize that I'm doing this for my future children. I'm doing this for future organizations. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my community. And that gives me goosebumps. I'm here to positively disrupt so that they can grow up in a world that is better than when we found it. Yeah? So, the truth. The hustle culture is not a wakeboard. Yeah? We want to co-create, collaborate, communities, businesses, enterprises, where we free our time, where we can be more abundant. Yeah? So that we can do the things that matter most with the people that we care about most. Because that's the whole point of work, right? And we can do it in a way that we align with our own purpose, our own dharma, and then we can collaborate with other people who have different skill sets, and we can build beautiful things with combined visions and combined missions. And that's how we create a change in this generation to the next. And what I see is every conscious organization, every B Corp certified business, these ones that live their truth and are having an impact in the world, are the ones that I'm here to serve and support. Because if I can help them, from the founders down through to the janitor, then what I can do is I can help ignite these businesses and their impact. Because what happens is when you got healthy, happy, and connected people, what do? In your workforce, in your life, they're more productive, more impactful. If you invest in your people, you make more profit. And guess what? They start to stay. What do you think happens for the vision and the mission of the business? It starts to have a bit more of a voice in the world, a bit more of an impact, a bit more of a legacy. This is the reason we create that. Not all of us, but this is the reason why you create from here, from truth. So the possibility is to create businesses that are people before profits. The possibility is to imagine going to work, whether you're a digital nomad, whether you are traditional business, and building an environment where people leave feeling better than when they arrive. They get to the end of their week more energized and more excited than when they started. It doesn't matter if you're making donuts. It doesn't matter if you're building water filters. It doesn't matter if you're a medical professional, an engineer, or a doctor. The point is that if we create these environments, what will happen is we will start to create these communities that really start to create change. And our job as founders, our job as leaders, is to create those environments from the top down. Starts with us. So I'm calling you out. If you're a medical professional, if you're a conscious entrepreneur, if you're a father, if you're a mother, whatever you create, whatever environment you have, please embed self-care into the DNA of the business and of your lives. Because if you do, it becomes positive sound in every aspect of your life. Your health, your happiness, your connection, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. This is where the world changes. One person, one family, one community, one business at a time. My wish for the world is to work with as many beautiful conscious enterprises as I can. That's my dharma. I spent 8 years writing that book. I don't know where the download came from at 26, but I knew I had the pain point to get the message. I knew I had to spend 12 months of my life outside of the medical system, reminding myself to nourish, to remember that 50 million cells regenerate every single second without conscious attention. And the day I was born to the day I die, the number one thing I have to do is not harm them. The second thing I need to do is nourish them. So whether it's breath work, whether it's meditation, whether it's hydration, whether it's food, we can embed these little micro habits, these little micro rituals into our own lives, because we have to go first, right? But then we can also embed it into the environments and the organizations where you live to make really big changes. I changed the coffee machine for a juice machine and see the hydration and the energy and the vitality of people go up. Do you know why I did that? Because I asked the people what they wanted. So as an organization, if you want to really help your people, yes, create environments that makes wellness easy, so they leave feeling better than they arrived. The second thing is to create an environment where this is embedded into the DNA, so that no matter what happens, they can make their choices, but everything is geared towards them leaving the end of the week feeling more energized than when they started. And the third thing you can do is ask them, what do they need? And I can assure you, we all go through peaks and troughs in our life, right? That's normal. And sometimes all we need is that connection, because the connection, the cohesion, the co-creation, if we get 100 people rowing in the same direction together, what do you think is going to happen? Increase ROI, return on impact. Okay, thank you so much, Rory, Callaghan.